Did you know that we recently crowned our very own Miss Universe Singapore?
Actually, I'll be honest with you, Steve. I didn't know until we were talking about doing a topic for this pod. I don't really keep up with beauty news.
Okay.
Who's the winner?
Well, I read this very popular news website called CNA, and she's a 26-year-old Charlotte Chia, no relation to me.
Okay.
But what was interesting this year is that the contest, it's expanded to include not just single ladies.
Yep.
I mean, you could be a mom, you could be an elderly person. It's kind of open up to every age group, and there was even a transgender contestant.
So I read about the transgender contestant. That's how I knew about, the pageant. Do you remember watching these on TV when you were growing up, like the Miss Universe,
Not
pageant?
really part of my growing up TV diet.
I remember sitting down watching all these beautiful women. You
Right.
know, they would always shout into the mic, right? Miss Venezuela, that kind of thing. Do you remember?
I do actually. Yeah, when the international competition, it was kind of an event.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, okay, fun aside,
Yep.
I think it's a legitimate business,
Yep.
right? And it's been this way since the 1950s. Did you know that Singapore has been sending a rep for Miss Universe since 1966, and
Wow, okay.
Mrs. World is also something like 40 years old.
Wow. Okay. I guess in the past, a lot of it was used to sort of help you catapult yourself if you wanted to become an actress or get into sort of the showbiz
That's right.
line of work, right? Whereas now people are kind of saying, what is its relevance today? What made you? You were telling us this is the first time you've taken
Very
part in a
first
beauty
time,
pageant.
yes.
Yeah. What made you take part?
First of all, I have a 15-year-old son. So he's of age where I can basically let him autopilot and I can, pursue the things I want to. Having said that, I think it's also a good platform to merge, like what I want to advocate for.
Did you always want to be a beauty pageant
Queen?
queen?
Actually, no. To be very honest, I've always been, how should I say, ambitious.
Okay.
Right? I like, to challenge myself, push boundaries, and I was actually quite the tomboy growing up. Yeah, I do sports, things like that. It is intrinsically not me to be like a typical beauty queen.
Yeah.
So I want to try it, Yeah.
Okay, were you surprised you won?
Yes. Well,
That's a
yes.
long
Okay.
pause.
Because I have very strong contenders as my, fellow finalists. So they were all, really strong, really great women.
Angela, maybe you want to weigh in on, this concept of beauty, right? And especially beauty pageants. In a way, it's still being judged according to a format. So you still have the bikini segments and judged by a panel, watched by millions of people. Some people would say, is this a bit irrelevant in the current age? What do you think?
To me, wearing a bikini or even a swimwear is about confidence. Yeah, you have to have the confidence to be able to put on that two-piece and walk on the stage and to flaunt what you have. It's
Okay.
not about anything bad, but it's about the confident level you have and how you want to inspire people to love yourself more and be confident with what you have.
Young women nowadays, educated women might say, why do I have to have a bikini
Yeah.
to show that I'm confident, right?
Well, they may say it's a rather superficial kind of competition.
No, actually, if you do not have a swimwear segment in a beauty pageant, then it's not a beauty pageant anymore.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. So you're saying that visual element
Yes.
is necessary.
It's necessary.
Why?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we still want to look at the beautiful part of a woman, not just having the brains but it's an overall thing.
I see.
Yeah,
So beauty is still in terms of physical beauty?
it's everything. It's a package to be a beauty queen.
So physical beauty is a must, Steve.
I mean, for a beauty pageant, I guess so, because the name
Says beauty pageant,
right?
Yes. Yeah.
But some may argue that in this day and age, the objectification of women seems a bit wrong. Yeah. How would you respond to that?
So I completely hear you. Prior to joining a pageant, I must admit I do have my reservations, and like many people, preconceptions about what a beauty pageant is. Maybe a little bit, it may seem superficial, but it was only after I joined the pageant, having gone through the training, gone through that journey of, self-love, discovery, and uplifting my fellow finalists, right? It is more than just showing skin. Because beauty, I think, in today's days, like context, right? It's defined very differently. I feel like it's not just about a certain type of look. You can be plus size, you can have curves, and it's the confidence of wearing that and owning it that determines what beauty is.
Right.
So I think that in itself changed my concept about the so-called superficiality of it.
But then again, a large part of the competition is all about visual appearance. It's not like you have to sit down and do an IQ test, or you have to take part in some, math
pretty much-
competition,
no,
you know,
not-
right?
Yes, it's not math, but we do have a Q&A segment. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So 1 week prior to the finals, every contestant have to go through a 5 minutes interview with every judge.
Yeah.
And that's where they will ask them questions about their lifestyle. What do they aspire to inspire? What are their advocacy? What do they really want to do for the community? And what makes them join the pageant?
Okay, so a bit like a job interview.
Yes, it
Little
is.
bit.
Yes, you actually interview to be Mrs. Singapore.
So the beauty business, and it used to be this before, where a lot of the winners of the beauty contests eventually went on to have careers in acting and modeling, etc. So it was a viable way for a stepping stone to a good career. Nowadays, though, I feel increasingly that you just need to be on social media, and then you need to have
Totally agree.
Yeah,
Yes,
and you
totally
have to
agree.
you have a good setup, and you can market yourself that way. You don't really need to go through this. What's the benefit of actually being part of a pageant?
Being a beauty queen is not just being a supermodel. We are looking for a role model. Yes, so our platform is to empower women to come out and share about their aspiration, to inspire people, and then to showcase their talent. At the same time, the role model, being a role model, and actually being a beauty queen, it leads them to be probably a philanthropist, a social leadership.
So that's what the interview might sieve out.
Correct.
Right.
And at the same time, we also, when they have the interview, we also ask what have they really done for the community.
Oh, it's like a CV.
Correct,
for internship.
correct. Some of the contestants do come with their files and show what they have done.
Wow,
Yeah,
see? It's like that.
yes. So it's actually like a job interview. Yeah. Then on the day itself, after the opening dance, the swimwear segment, we call for the top 5, and then this top 5 will pick a question and answer.
What's the weightage? That so-called job interview, is that what, 50% of the final grade, or is
Yes.
it? Yeah.
Yes.
So that much, 50%.
Yes, 50%.
Okay.
Yes, and then this 50% will carry forward to the finals.
So that bikini segment is only what, 10%?
10%. It's about confidence level, like what
But you
Veronica
still
just
need
said.
to have the bikini.
Yes, because we need to know how confident you are to be on stage.
Not
in that
everybody
bikini.
can walk in the bikini and heels, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, I'm not gonna wear my Speedos and walk down a runway. I mean, for sure.
do not do
Yeah.
that.
Now
because
that
that
image is
not-
forever implanted in your head for
oh
everyone
my
listening.
God,
in,
the
yeah.
mental image.
Hey,
okay.
actually, I'm not too bad looking. Well, what are you trying to say?
Exactly.
Maybe about 20 years before, when there were auditions, you'd have hundreds of girls.
Yes, hundreds.
Now,
But now?
you're
Now-
like, oh my God, okay, I'm gonna pick whoever comes, etc. And I think that might have some correlation to just how educated our girls are becoming.
Yes,
right? I
like
mean,
we
the
have-
jump is huge from something like 3% of women aged over 45 in 2000 had a polytechnic or degree, but now it's like 18.9%. That's a huge jump, right?
Exactly.
Is there a correlation between
I-
women who are educated and then wanting to take part in something like this?
Like you mentioned earlier, some people doesn't like to be judged. Yeah,
But they're
because
judged on social media every day.
yeah, but social media being
Exactly
social
right.
media is the freedom of speech. Everybody can say anything on social media.
Yeah, so then in that sense, Veronica, why did you decide to take part? Can there other avenues to have your voice heard?
The notion of a beauty pageant has kind of shifted. If you're a woman and you want to feel empowered, we have many roles as women: mother, daughter, sister, colleague, worker, boss. So, but we also can be queens, right? So I think like doing this is just an affirmation to yourself, like, yeah, we can do it
We
all.
can do it all.
Yes, and I believe we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's
And
beyond.
every woman, for what I know, every woman from 1 year old to 99, everybody loves to have a tiara on their head.
I never knew
Okay.
that I was a tiara person until I actually have.
You have a tiara.
Yeah.
That looks heavy. Okay, let's talk about the diversity bit.
Yeah.
We talked about this earlier. So they increased the type of people. They
Opened it up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the type of people who could take part. There was a 60-something-year-old, right? A transgender, like
Yeah.
Steve said. Okay, so
Basically anyone.
yes.
Any woman could take part in this
Okay,
competition,
so
right?
some critics say that this is just a communication strategy, to get people to be interested, which is true. Because the only reason I knew about the Universe contest was because there was a story about the transgender
Yes.
candidate
Yes.
or contestant.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's like truly diverse?
It's a marketing and it's also a new world. You have
Okay.
to be inclusive, you see, because if you are not inclusive, you are not fair.
But how do you judge somebody who is 18 and 16?
So that's on their panel. But like for us in our platform, we don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
in my platform, we have different
Criteria.
category. We have the Miss, we have the Misses, and we have the Elites. That's how we judge, you see. Because to me, it will never be the same to compete an 18-year-old with a 40-year-old. Yeah. So I cannot understand.
Veronica agrees.
Yes.
Yes, because I cannot. I seriously don't know how is their judging criteria, and I can't comment on that. But seriously, I still feel that every woman age differently,
With different experiences
different
as well.
experience. When you are like in your early 20s and your early 30s, it's different. When you are in your 40s, you have different aspiration also.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So for me, it could be a marketing, it could be a voice.
Okay,
good to be
maybe the
inclusive.
age part is a bit tricky,
Mm-hmm.
but like the transgender person, I think maybe reflects society, right?
Yes, that means when they put the transgender into the pageant, means they accept.
Yes.
Yeah, it's receptive. Yeah. So
Even
it's,
though there's is a lightning bolt for criticism,
exactly. Yeah, but
people
she's very
call
brave.
out.
She's
very brave.
brave to be on the stage to be judged.
But here's the
Yeah.
question: would she win?
Well, she didn't win in top 5 in Singapore. But then in the international competition, they do have a transgender that won Miss Universe. It was a Miss Spain that won
Right.
the Miss Universe. She was the first transgender that won
Right.
Miss Universe.
But then that may also come with a different caveat and saying that maybe sometimes some regulations say you can't have had any work done on yourself,
Right.
So then they wouldn't fit. But because after
So the
a
beauty
while,
must be natural.
yeah, because after a while, actually, if you think about it, I mean, yes, inclusivity and diversity, but it really means whoever has the most resources can really do what they need to do to make themselves as beautiful.
I feel like transgender is a bit different. They identify themselves as women.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and this is for women. And that in itself is empowering to join a beauty pageant that allows them to be themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
So you also organize Manhunt.
Yes,
right?
I do.
So no, I'm just curious. No, not curious to
Steve,
take part.
you
No,
want to take-
definitely.
I was
no,
about
I
to
don't
ask
think.
if you are keen for next
no,
year.
no.
What's the
I'm
age
just-
limit?
Yeah, I'm just curious in terms of the criteria.
Um,
How do you, again, because with men, then maybe it would be a different way of looking at it. I'm sure
Correct.
the criteria is quite different, right?
correct. Yeah. Usually for men, the male model, we call it the male model pageant.
Okay.
Yeah. A Manhunt is actually a male model pageant. Of course, looks, physics, height.
You definitely need to wear a Speedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to. You need to wear a Speedo, and
Yeah.
that's how we judge. You see, like even the personality, if they have good attitude, yeah. So that's really important, because if she won Manhunt and he's going to represent Singapore in the Manhunt International, and if he's going to win there, he's going to get lots of jobs from the fashion industry. Modeling is a modeling career. So attitude is important.
Okay, so physicality is
that's must.
even more important.
Yes, is even
in
more.
that
Yeah,
sense.
because it's a Manhunt.
When it opens for auditions and you're finding it harder and harder to field people, do you think one day you actually might not get enough?
Well, somehow or other, we will still manage to get enough contestants.
Okay.
Yeah, so far so
Right.
good. So far
so good.
Yeah, because our company ERM has been around for so many years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Miss Universe pageant you talk about in 1985, it was organized by my late partner in World Trade Center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have the history, and people know that we are a platform for people to want to relearn, regrow, and rediscover themselves.
Okay.
And we are all here to unity. And I always tell the ladies, women must help women, and we are a platform to help each other and to elevate each other.
Okay.
And we come together, we do compassionate things like charity, and we laugh together, cry together,
Okay.
we share everything together. Sisterhood is so important.
That is what I really appreciate out of this pageant.
And like we talk about why ladies are not coming in to compete for the competition nowadays. Firstly, they don't want to be judged. Secondly, too busy with the work and family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we have the schedule come out, they will say, "Oh, too busy.
Yeah.
My children, my work. My boss doesn't like it. My boss, not my husband." So
Well, boss is more important than husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I feel really sad that they have no time for themselves. And most women, why they want to join pageant? Because they have forgotten about themselves. So they come
Okay.
back and rediscover, and they find out their strength again.
So it sounds like a bit of a female empowerment.
It is,
It's like a bit of
yeah.
a boot camp. Go in there and,
Yes.
We have a
get your-
doctor in my batch.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's, mother of 3, busy with work, and and then she's rediscovering doctor,
Okay.
So I think that's brilliant,
A medical doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always tell the ladies, I said, there's no such thing as not enough time or no time. It's about time management.
And prioritizing
Yeah, you
yourself.
have to prioritize.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to do something bad enough, normally we find time somehow.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
sounds fun taking part in a
Yeah,
contest.
you want to take part?
Yeah, you should.
I would fail the bikini segment.
Oh,
Now
no.
and again, like I said, it's not about how good your vital
Exactly.
statistics are. It's
okay.
about confident level.
Really.
How you
Yeah.
can present yourself on the stage with that swimwear.
Okay.
But then, by the way, they all went through a swimwear segment.
Yeah.
It's not a bikini. It's just a one
One
piece.
piece.
The
More
discern-
forgiving. More forgiving. But it's really, when you put on that suit, it's, you can be any shape and size. It's really about owning it when you're on
Yes.
stage. Yeah.
If you guys, had any resource that you have and you wanted to organize a beauty pageant differently, what would you do?
Actually, I have done lots of changes already in my competition, where the competition is not only just for the women, for the contestant herself. I involve their husband and their children also at the same time.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, how?
So husbands comes in with their wife for the culinary competition. They cook together.
Oh,
There's a culinary
Yeah,
segment.
So
Yeah,
like a
that-
family segment.
Yeah, it's a family segment. And at
Right.
the same time, they have a talent competition where they can actually bring their children or their husband to come on stage and perform
I
for the
see.
public to score points. Yeah, so these are the
okay.
things we have been doing
To make it more...
to make it more family-oriented
Yeah.
event.
And Veronica, what would you tell people out there who say, "Oh no, I'll never take part,"
I would tell them, just go with an open mind, try it, and it's about empowering yourselves, really. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you all for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Thank
for
you.
coming
Thank you
in.
so much.
Thank you for the
Thanks for
time.
having us.
Yeah.
Steve,
Yeah.
I'll see you in...
Speedos, no.
No. I'll see you in Senior Manhunt
Yeah.
2025.
Oh, the thought is just so scary,
Me too. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thanks to the team
Thank you.
behind the podcast. Junaini Johari, Tiffany Ang, Joanne Chan, Saya Win, and To Yen Yun. Video is by Hanida Amin, and sound mixing is by Ken Delbridge. See you guys next week.
That's it for Deep Dive. Bye for now.